happened here. All I've seen is that like this is all over Zionist Twitter. And I think like Sarah Silverman and like Mark Ruffalo and a couple Hollywood celebrities said something along the lines of like, hey guys, like what the fuck are you doing? I think they said something like not all Jews are responsible for Israel. What the fuck are you doing? Which is like a weird way to defend this. Or not defend it, but like a weird way to criticize it. Don't get me wrong. Because like, I don't even think this has anything to do with Israel. This is just anti-Semitism. If it actually was like, oh, those guys are Jews, let's go fuck them up. Like to even justify those actions or even like to run defense on those actions in any way, shape, or form by saying like, oh no, like Jews in diaspora do not represent the interests of Jews in diaspora need allies. We are not Israel, and we sure as fuck aren't the Israeli government. Thank you to the mensch in gray. Is like kind of weird. I don't know. Eve Barlow, a group of Jews got jumped at Sushi Fuma in La Cienega tonight while eating outside. Who cares, right? Like, people fucking say who cares, right? As though no one cares, but like people should care. Yeah, it's still anti-Semitic and unacceptable. Like an attack against Jews. Exclusively because they're fucking Jews is certainly not all right. I don't think violence is justified in Los Angeles, but to frame this as just anti-Semitism is just malicious.
You guys should be ashamed of yourself.
What?
Shout out my best friends in baby white.
Israel kills children and women every day.
Yeah, fuck you!
You guys should be ashamed of yourself.
Wait, so what happened is a Palestinian fucking convoy is like a pro-Palestine convoy is saying like, you know, they're demonstrating, and these guys are like, fuck you. So then what happens? He threw something at them? Like, that's the part I didn't understand. Like, how the fuck did they know these people were Jewish? Like, how did the people in a fucking in a convoy like know that these people were?
Hey, free Palestine. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Yes, it's okay. Oh, the hair got crazy.
Everyone speaking English? Yeah, this is happening like, bro, this is literally happening in fucking in La Cienega.
It's not worth it, guys.
Like the guy with the megaphone's like, hey, stop.
Wow, 10 minutes.
Holy shit. They aren't even Jewish according to that tweet. They were Armenian Christians. Look at the tweet reply. No, one of them was Lebanese, I think.
Guys, it's not worth it. Come on, guys, don't look like this.
They're literally walking away when he swung that post at them. Then he got fucked. I can't tell exactly what's going on, but it feels like they're fucking driving by. This is on La Cienega, by the way. This is like fucking close as shit to, like, this is, I mean, it could be anywhere in La Cienega, but like it's close in proximity to where I live. So from what it seems like, and I can't tell if that's the case or not, but I don't know if he's like actually trying to fucking throw bottles at the car. Even then, if you're getting a fucking bottle thrown at your car, don't get out of the fucking car and try to beat the shit out of the people. Okay? Like, don't do that. That's not smart. That is not wise in any capacity. Especially because then they will use it and say that you were doing an anti-Semitic attack. You know? You're in a fucking car. Drive away. That's crazy. But to say that this is like clear-cut anti-Semitism where they like targeted Jews is a little ridiculous. So I don't know what the fuck was going on here. I don't give a fuck if you're Jewish, Christian, or Muslim, or a fucking Scientologist. If you throw a bottle at my car, we are throwing hands.
I think the UN.
The people in the truck started it, dude. By what? Saying fucking free Palestine? Like, what do you mean? I mean, they literally escalated it by getting out of the car and retaliating, but...
Pog.
Sounded like they threw something first. It's unacceptable regardless. Like, don't get out of the fucking car. Just keep driving. Don't be a fucking asshole. Guys in the truck threw something first. Then it's really fucked up. Then they're completely in the wrong. They're already in the wrong for getting out of the fucking car. If the bottle was... Even if a bottle was thrown at their car and they got out of the car, they're already in the wrong. But if they also threw something from the car, then they're doubly in the fucking wrong. I don't know if that's the case, though. And I also don't know. What did you say? They went to a Jewish restaurant? Did someone just say they came to a Jewish restaurant? I didn't realize a sushi restaurant was designated as a Jewish restaurant. What Jewish restaurant were they purposely seeking out? Why do you feel the need to make stuff up? Do you feel like the evidence is not there for the original story? So you're saying like
Question
what?
Mark.
Are you saying that sushi is a Jewish dish or something? Is that what you're saying? I'm confused.
I have given Ajan Amazon money.
No. They didn't go to like a fucking... They didn't like seek out, Jewish people and like beat the shit out of them, but it's still fucked up. Especially if they threw something from the car. That's doubly fucked up. Don't do that. That's unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. Yes, it is a Jewish restaurant. Dude, shut the fuck up. Dude, come on. Don't make jokes like this, okay? Especially when tensions are so fucking high. Like, I get so triggered. Because, like, people are going to use this to be like, oh, I can't believe look at what you're doing. Look at what you're responsible for. Look at what you're responsible for. You're causing this. Like, as though this somehow fucking legitimizes Israel's actions against innocent Palestinians. Like, fucking so stupid. Okay? Here.
And to promote peace.
Apparently fucking Mr. Geraldo here had a fucking good take on Fox.
In the Middle East. And now we are, 5 months now into the Biden administration. And here's what we see. It's impossible not to see some of the behind the scenes efforts to re-enter a deal with Iran at play here.
We have dozens of Palestinian children who have been killed in the last week with American bombs. I have no proposed solution to this conflict. I have no proposed solution. Better minds than mine. Maybe General Jack Keane can help. Been floundered, frustrated by this complexity. I know this, though, Martha, and I want our audience to. The fact that the United States of America is providing Israel many of the weapons Israel is using today to kill Palestinian civilians without even demanding a ceasefire. Tlaib is right. That makes us complicit in an ongoing crime against humanity.
Katie, last thought.
Geraldo, that is such a dishonest argument to make, to accuse the Israelis and the Americans of deliberately targeting civilians when we know, we have it on video, we've known this for decades, the Hamas deliberately places military targets in schools, in media buildings, in hospitals, and when the Israelis call them to say, we're going to bomb, we're going to bomb, we are going to, so you're justifying Hamas using human shields in order to make the argument exactly as you are. And you are saying exactly what the argument Hamas makes, which is Israelis kill civilians, which is
an Israeli F-16 going 500 miles an hour is going to kill civilians.
Hamas propaganda. You are repeating Hamas propaganda.
I am deeply experienced in that region.
Bro, I love when it's like, the truth is Hamas propaganda. Once again, why would you say that? You only delegitimize your own argument when you turn around and say, the truth is Hamas propaganda. What are you, trying to fucking make Hamas look good? What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't understand this. It's like when supposedly progressive or liberal like defenders of Israel in the West say shit like saying free Palestine is anti-Semitic or causing anti-Semitism. Are you fucking dumb? Why would you establish the position that acknowledging the existence of Palestinians as humans is anti-Semitic? Like, that doesn't help you. That hurts you. That is a fucking idiotic argument that literally, if you are trying to desperately make Israel look good in an instance where they're doing bad things, what you have to recognize is you're not accomplishing that goal. You're only accomplishing that goal to people that already have been blinded by this propaganda for many years. If people are paying attention to whatever the fuck's going on and they start recognizing like, oh shit, Israel's bombing the fuck out of these Palestinians. What the fuck's going on? And your retaliation is like saying free Palestine in this situation is actually anti-Semitic, a thread, then no normal person who is encountering this issue for the first time in their lives, especially if they haven't been like literally fucking brain damaged by nonstop IDF and Zionist propaganda, are gonna be like, the fuck? To say like don't bomb the children is an anti-Semitic thing to say? Like, the fuck are you saying? Like, why are you tarnishing the reputation of Jews all around the world by literally forcibly trying to fucking mash the violent, brutal occupation of Israel and placing the responsibility on all Jews all around the world? That's crazy to me. That is fucking crazy, dude. You do not look good when you say that. To say that, like, rocket fire is going to kill Palestinians in the most densely populated area, to equate that to Hamas propaganda, I'm sorry, makes Hamas look good. And it makes you look bad. Like, you could say Hamas are terrorists, and they are to a certain degree, okay? They are literally trying to defend whatever fucking area that they control by an occupying force, okay? They're terrorists in the same way that the IDF are terrorists, except they don't have the same kind of fucking guns and defense systems that the IDF has. But, like, saying that these rockets are going to kill, you know, meat shields, that like all of these fucking people that are dying are dying as a consequence of like being meat shields standing in the way of Hamas, like and engaging in this sort of like ethnic cleansing apologia is making you look bad.
I'm a Zionist. I am telling you how I feel.
When they go out of their way to stop civilians from being killed, Hamas purposely uses them.
Do you think it's an equal analogy when individuals compare what Israel's doing to the Holocaust? I think what Israel is doing is ethnic cleansing, okay? It's not as severe as the Holocaust, but the Holocaust didn't start overnight either, Okay? So, no, I think that this is still ethnic cleansing. And also, I don't give a fuck that Pac-Man wants to talk to me. So chatters who come in here to say that, suck my cock.
As human shields. That is a known fact, and you are denying it.
All right, both sides
You
making their...
you shoot an artillery round from a cannon, from a tank, and you expect it to land only on the military version
well,
of
that's one
Hamas?
point, Geraldo, that is valid, but Kate is...
Like, I'm not going to do a fucking debate on this issue, okay? I'm sorry. If you guys want to hear David Pakman's side, you can go watch him, okay? But I'm not going to do a debate on this issue and then be called a fucking anti-Semite by people because I'm equating, like, what, for example, Palestinians can do or what kind of legal rights that they have beyond the morality of the situation to, like, the Warsaw ghettos, okay? And the right of every Jewish person to defend itself against a occupying Nazi regime that was going to murder and successfully did end up murdering 6 million Jews. Okay? Because the moment I say that, it's going to be heated and everyone's going to say, you're a fucking anti-Semite. How dare you do this?
Point's also valid in terms of burying the weaponry and defensive infrastructure in places where children will be killed if it's hit. I'm going to leave you guys.
Yeah, I don't want to get fucking canary missioned or however you say it and fucking doxxed. Anyway, but to all the bloodthirst or blood sport enthusiasts, like I'm sure there's plenty of things you can find on the internet. And people, mods, clap the people that fucking shit on David Pakman too, okay? No, you are stupid. When you say dumb shit in the chat about David Pakman, you are doing a stupid thing. Because then that will get clipped. And then that will be made to seem like I am, either A, attacking David Pakman, who I disagree with on this issue, or B, creating like an environment of anti-Semitism. So you yourself are doing something that is bad ultimately, okay?
I used to be a fan of him, but he kind of a knob tbh. If not hate, what's your opinion of him?
Anyway.
With those thoughts.
Can you please talk about the European Union throwing refugees into the sea? Yeah. Most people just want blood sport. They want debates, they want drama. It's a fun way to like analyze the issues. That's what they want. I'm not in it. I don't like that. I don't give a fuck. Okay, you do that. You're lame as fuck. Okay? You don't like this kind of coverage, like, you can literally go find different kinds of coverage elsewhere. Anyway, having said that, at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. So we are going to run that ad break, and I'm going to watch a new Mehdi Hassan video on what's going on. But before that, actually, I'm going to run this. The viral IDF soldier has an interesting TikTok, to say the least.
USAF combat search and rescue, so I am obviously very against Hamas.
Jesus
but what
fucking
Israel is doing
Christ,
to the
dude.
Palestinians is horrific. I hope this shit ends soon.
Here's a 1-minute ad. If you want to avoid the ad, you can subscribe. You can use AdBlock, VPNs, all that sort of stuff. What the fuck? Why is Blue Lives Matter trending in California right now? Twitch Prime is free. Here's the ad break now. Wait, did I run the fucking ad at
Parkman's takes are bad, especially for
No,
foreign
I didn't
policy.
run the third ad.
I'm not
I didn't
surprised
run
you
it
don't
at the
want to
top of
debate
2.
him.
Did
It's a
I?
lose-lose.
Hold on, let me see. If I did, I'm not going to run one at 3. I'm sorry about that.
Oh no, Hassan, help, I am stuck in the washing machine, I can't get out. Please step Hajan.
I should have checked. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did run one. Okay, I'm not going to run one at the top of 3. Okay? Remind me that I'm not going to run one at the top of 3.
Woohoo.
Would do itself a great favor if instead of the automatic Israel bashing, they actually turned their attention and their investigative committees against these terrorists to trample every norm on which the UN was founded. It helps that Israel, the United States, and the other civilized countries stand together against this grave threat.
Let me just add that you are our friend, as we are your friend. And we will stand together. We come together in support with our friends, our only true friend in the Middle East, and that's Israel.
That was Democratic Congressman Gregory Meeks of New York on a congressional visit to Jerusalem in 2014, reassuring Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that the U.S. had Israel's back after dozens of UN peacekeepers in the Golan Heights were abducted by an al-Qaeda-linked group out of Syria. Because the U.S. has always had Israel's back. Democrat, Republican, it hasn't mattered. Until, maybe, now. Yesterday, we learned that the Biden administration had approved a $753 million arms sale just before violence flared up in Israel and Gaza. And even Gregory Meeks, the very pro-Israeli head of the powerful House Foreign Affairs Committee, tried to delay the deal. Emphasis on tried. That was the report last night, but by this afternoon, Congressman Meeks was backtracking and seemingly appeased by a briefing from the White House. But the fact remains that normally staunch pro-Israel Democrats are pushing back against Israel's aggression for what seems to be the first time I can remember in my lifetime. Senator Robert Menendez of New Jersey, chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, criticized the Israeli airstrikes that destroyed the Gaza.
These guys are some of the biggest, like, pro-Israel Democrats out there, by the way. I think their criticisms are bullshit, and they have justified an unjustifiable occupation for far too long. But at least this does mark a sea change, you know?
The offices of the Associated Press and Al Jazeera over the weekend. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and 28 more Senate Democrats are calling for an immediate ceasefire. Schumer, the guy who spoke before the annual gathering of the pro-Israel lobby, AIPAC, and said that the Bible gave Israel the right to the land. Of course it's our land, he told the conference in 2018. The Torah says it. None of these Democrats have changed their stances in a vacuum. They're not being pushed just by activists, but by left-wing members of their own caucus who have grown in number.
I also don't understand why they would, like, not use this as an opportunity to make this a partisan issue. Ask which side of the Israeli-Palestinian clash they are more sympathetic to. 36% of Democrats say both, 18 say the Palestinians, and 12 the Israelis. Among Republicans, 51 say the Israelis, 19 both, and 3% the Palestinians. This is progress, boys. Both sides. Oh my God. This is... These numbers are actually... Like, it's crazy that more say Palestinians than Israelis. That's actually crazy to me.
Israel having universal...
That's actually wild.
Don't makes me so fucking angry.
I just want you to be grounded. I just want you to be grounded and understand, like,
super proud of your
what
coverage
framework
on
we
Israel this
exist
month.
in currently
If you feel like
when we talk about this stuff.
Food workers strike going on nationwide today for $15 per hour. We'd love to see your coverage.
And seem to know how to wield their power. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who called Israel an apartheid state. Jamal Bowman, who won his seat by beating pro-Israel hawk Elliot Engel. And this weekend, gently reprimanded a fellow New York City congressman for supporting Israel. And Rashida Tlaib, the first Palestinian-American woman to serve in Congress, who today, in a meeting with the president, told Joe Biden that Palestinian human rights are not a bargaining chip and must be protected, not negotiated. This represents a sea change in the Democratic Party. Because the reality is that most elected members of the Democratic Party who say
Jesus Christ, who do you blame for the recent escalation of violence in Israel and the Palestinian territories? 29% say Palestinians, 25% say both, 16% say Israel. Jesus fucking Christ. That's propaganda, boys. That's how powerful that shit is. That's how powerful that fucking propaganda is.
say they are liberals, progressives, supporters of principles such as freedom, self-determination, dignity, human rights, have for far too long refused to apply those principles in the occupied Palestinian territories. They recite talking points about their support for a two-state solution and the need for a peace process, but say very little about the rights or even humanity of the Palestinian people. Critics on the left even have a term for it, PEP, Progressive Accept Palestine.
Yep.
Progressive when it comes to standing up for marginalized minorities at home or persecuted groups abroad, in China or Syria or Sudan, but not in Israel or the occupied Palestinian territories. The truth is that when it comes to racial discrimination, the detention of children, police brutality, the denial of voting rights, Jim Crow laws, here in the United States, elected Democrats are rightly up in arms, outraged, outspoken. But when such things, or worse, happen in the occupied territories, or even inside of Israel, when they happen to Palestinians, too many elected Democrats have tended to, at best, turn a blind eye, and at worst, defend it, excuse it, and of course, fund it. What makes this current moment so stark then, so unprecedented, so historic perhaps, is that attitudes towards Israel and the Palestinians are clearly changing within the Democratic Party and among liberal Americans in general. For more on this, let's bring in Congressman Mark Pocan, Democrat of Wisconsin. He's chair emeritus of the Progressive Caucus. Congressman, thanks for coming back on the show. You yourself have been pretty critical of Israel in recent days. Why is that message, that narrative, less pro-Israeli than usual, more pro-Palestinian than we've seen before, resonating with so many members of your caucus right now? What's changed inside your party to make this moment so different?
I think elected officials are catching up with where the people across the country are, because outside of places like state capitals in Washington, D.C., people who are watching what's happening are seeing buildings destroyed, children being killed, media outlets being bombed, roads to hospitals being bombed, people being...
It's just like, for far too long, the Israeli occupation has, as Mehdi Hassan also aptly put, gone either unnoticed or completely defended and supported. So for that reason, I think that the IDF's recent actions were the actions of an occupying force that is used to doing what it does on a daily basis. But for some reason this time, people are paying attention. And a lot of people, especially in the West, don't know how to deal with it. Because when you recognize the humanity of the Palestinians, when you don't immediately dismiss them as, you know, oh, they're terrorists, they deserve it, they're all deserve it, sorry, they got in the way. When you don't think about it that way, for the first time ever, and you think about them as like, oh, these are like children, these are women, these are civilians that are constantly being fucking shelled every goddamn day, that they're in the world's largest open air prison, where Israel controls every aspect of their lives and continues to brutalize them horrifically. That's when it's very difficult to win the war of culture or information.
Attacked in mass, housing being taken away from people, and those aren't at all within the value set that we have as Americans. And I think that finally more elected officials, those in Congress, are speaking out on behalf of our constituents, saying that human rights means everyone. And if you have a friend, and Israel is a friend of the United States, is getting in the car drunk and keeps hitting people, someone's got to say something to your friend. And it's time now for Israel to stop the bombings. We need an immediate ceasefire, and we need to have humanitarian conditions. We need to have the Palestinians treated with respect and dignity, or we're never going to have peace in this region.
Indeed, and a lot more Democrats are saying that. And yet, Speaker Pelosi today, in calling for a ceasefire, did place blame for bloodshed squarely on Hamas. Why are so many in the Democratic Party still unwilling to recognize both?
Like, what if it wasn't Hamas? Okay. What if at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Palestinians that live there, in an effort to defend themselves from this occupying forces military, started, like, they got access to a weapon and started murking IDF people there. And then Israel started retaliating. What then? I mean, they would still be called Hamas, but it doesn't matter. Like, you can't remove the right to self-defense from Palestinians in this seemingly endless occupation. I just don't understand, because people who say who fired first don't recognize that the administrative arm of Hamas, which is supposed to be the local administration, the local government, gave warning to Israel and made very reasonable demands. Not like, fucking purge all the Jews into the sea or whatever. They are anti-Semitic. They are Islamist. They are fundamentalist. I am not pro-Hamas, as I say over and over again, because some people, no matter what I say, still think I am pro-Hamas. But their demands were to stop the bloodshed at the Al-Aqsa Mosque and to allow Palestinians and Muslims from the region freedom of travel to the Al-Aqsa Mosque for aid for the last days of Ramadan, the last nights of Ramadan. And to put a moratorium on the forced eviction of the expulsion of the Palestinians, the 6 Palestinian families living in Sheikh Jarrah. It's currently the hotly debated issue. Those are all reasonable fucking demands. That's not even what it is. It's from Jordanian River to the Mediterranean Sea. Palestine will be free. Now, I know, but that's not what I'm talking about. Like, that's we're not even talking about that. If you don't consider those to be reasonable fucking demands, you're out of your mind, dude. So no. If you ask who shot the first shot, I think it was Israel. I think beating the shit out of mosque goers at Al-Aqsa, which has been at the heart of nearly every single Palestinian uprising in the past 50 fucking years, dog. You think the IDF doesn't know that if they fucking put Israeli troops at Al-Aqsa and start beating the shit out of people that are going to the mosque in the middle of fucking Ramadan, that they're not going to fucking act out, understandably? Like, they knew that was going to happen. They have a right to defend themselves. So if you consider, like, what Hamas is doing to be unjustifiable, are you advocating to give them the same weapons that Israel has, and also the Iron Dome, and also the fucking and also shelters? Are you going to build bomb shelters for Palestinians and train their military so they have a standing army to push back against the brutal and violent occupation? No, you're not. So shut the fuck up.
The human rights of the Palestinian people, which they advocate for in other countries, in China or Syria or Venezuela for the people, and also the actions of the Israeli military, which caused most of the bloodshed that we've seen this far?
You know, I think people just have to look beyond the last 9 or 10 days. What most people hear about is there were rockets fired from Hamas and then a return fire from Israel. But what didn't get mentioned before that was the attack at a mosque during the holy holiday of Ramadan, or the people in East Jerusalem being pushed out of their homes because of illegal.
Motherfuckers look to that and go, oh, wow, this is propaganda. Because this is new. This does not get mentioned. And it still doesn't get mentioned in mainstream media for the most part. Just remember, like, luckily you got Mehdi Hassan, who covers this stuff very well. But, like, it's not on CBS Face the Nation that had Netanyahu on recently. They never fucking asked this question, like, well, why did you beat the shit out of people that were in a mosque praying during Ramadan? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Settlement expansions by the Israelis.
Why didn't you accept the ceasefire after the first night of back and forth? Why didn't you accept a ceasefire when it was brought up? Why didn't you not fucking brutalize the people that were at the Al-Aqsa Mosque? Yeah, the second intifada literally started because the Israeli prime minister, along with 1,000 soldiers, marched onto Al-Aqsa. Like, you think the Israelis don't know? You think that you think the IDF doesn't know that Al-Aqsa is incredibly important? And that the kinds of actions that they will engage in, the kinds of violent actions they will engage in at the Al-Aqsa Mosque is not going to piss off the Palestinians. Remember, there were Palestinians who killed, I think, like 2 IDF soldiers a while ago, and then they fucking put metal detectors at the Al-Aqsa Mosque. They had to remove those metal detectors. It's like, let them have this one fucking bastion, dude. Jesus Christ. You're such brutal fucking occupiers that you can't even have them have this one fucking thing.
And they don't know that it's not just been the last 10 days, but it's been months, years, decades of these abuses that's happened. And if you really look at it with open eyes, you can only really see a situation that reminds us all too often of a former South Africa. You know, last time I was there, I remember looking in a valley, and there's a road with a giant wall down the middle. And on one side of the road, Israelis drove, and one side, Palestinians drove. That's exactly out of a former South Africa. And I think people are seeing what's happening and saying that we need to stand up and say something different than what I think we've said for too long. And many of the newer members of Congress especially are the ones who are speaking out the most.
So you're right about that, Congressman. Historically, though, it's been the White House, with the exception of perhaps Donald Trump, that has tried to lead on the Israel-Palestine issue, that has, you know, in times of conflict, made the calls and suggested at the margins maybe Israel should maybe restrain itself. And it's been Congress that has resisted any pressure on Israel. Yet the opposite seems to be happening right now, including, it appears, with the Democratic chairs of the Senate and House Foreign Relations Affairs Committees. I mean, Democrats in the House and Senate were calling for a ceasefire at the weekend, and yet the president, the leader of your party, who has had what sources tell NBC News is a pretty tense phone call with Benjamin Netanyahu, more tense than previous calls, even now still refuses to publicly call for a ceasefire, despite hundreds dead. Joe Biden has not called for...
Sorry, he said he wants a firmer line. He said, get it done with quick. That's what Joe Biden said.
Boys.
Oh, Senator Sanders currently on the floor of the U.S. Senate calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza.
Does Senator Scott not
Have
believe
you listened to the Women's
that the
War
loss
podcast?
of those
Really worth
Palestinian
your time.
lives,
Chat.
64 children and 38 women, among others, is not a tragedy? I believe that we should be mourning the loss of Israeli life, but we should also be mourning the loss of Palestinian lives.
9 months.
Or perhaps some people think that Palestinian lives
Bernie is
don't
such
matter.
he's such a like old school activist Jew, dude. He's
And
fucking
let us
great.
be very clear that when we talk about the tragedy
He's so
that is
awesome.
now taking place in Gaza, what we are talking about is not only the terrible loss of life.
I love him.
As I hope most people know, Gaza, before this war, was an extremely poor and desperate community, and the latest Israeli bombardment has only made a bad situation much, much worse.
I can't believe this is anti-Semitism.
Let us remember, Gaza has been under a blockade since 2007, imposed by Israel and Egypt. Most people are unable to leave. Basic necessities are extremely hard to obtain. Gaza is the home to about 2 million inhabitants. Its population density is among the highest in the world, just a huge amount of people squeezed into a very small area. More than half of the population of Gaza, some 56%, live below the poverty line. 70% of the population is receiving aid, according to estimates by the United Nations. Food rations constitute most of that aid. Unemployment in Gaza is around 45%. 48% of the population is under the age of 18, and 70%, let me repeat, 70% of the young people in Gaza are unemployed with no hope for the future. And because of this war, the bombardment from Israeli planes, the situation has gotten even worse. Today's New York Times reports that the Israeli bombardment has, and I quote, this is from the New York Times, damaged 17 hospitals and clinics in Gaza. Got that? 17 hospitals and clinics have been damaged. The bombardment has wrecked its only coronavirus test laboratory, sent fetid wastewater into the streets, and broke water pipes serving at least 800,000 people. Sewage systems inside Gaza have been destroyed. A desalination plant that helped provide fresh water to 250,000 people in the territory is offline. Dozens of schools have been damaged or closed, forcing some 600,000 students to miss classes. Some 72,000 Gazans have been forced to flee their homes, end quote. That's from the New York Times this morning. Perhaps the situation has gotten even worse. I don't know. And I want everybody to think for a moment what it means to be living in a very small territory with dozens and dozens of planes attacking and bombing. What does it mean in particular to the children of Gaza? Jess Ghanem, a professor of psychiatry at the University of California, San Francisco, who specializes in the psychological effects of armed conflict on children, told USA Today, and I quote, "What children in Gaza are exposed to on a regular basis exceeds anything that any children anywhere else in the world experience. There's basically no place to go for these children. They are unable to escape," end of quote. When you put people under this sort of continued intense pressure with no hope for a better future, you cannot be surprised when violence erupts. Indeed, 3 years ago, in May of 2018, I wrote a letter
shit on Biden.
12
King,
of my
do
colleagues urging the Trump administration to do more to alleviate the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. In that letter, we cited Israeli defense officials defense officials who were warning that if the crisis
Remember when I told you guys about this?
It could lead to yet another eruption of violence.
Donald Trump took away all aid
Why
to Palestinians
didn't we take notice then?
to a degree that it
And when this
literally
latest war
compromised the Israeli
Will
position.
the United States once again turn away? Will we
Sorry, okay,
consign
I'm just trying to
those
provide
children
context. I'm getting
once
excited.
again to the horrible conditions they are forced to live under today? And I would hope that my colleagues appreciate that we must not do that. Senator Scott's resolution says a lot about Hamas terrorists in Gaza. And let us be clear, Hamas is a terrorist organization. It is a corrupt organization, and it is a repressive organization. But here is the irony. It is resolutions like Senator Scott's that help Hamas. Hamas would be overjoyed if Senator Scott's resolution were to pass. Now, why is that? Let us understand that one of Hamas's goals is to show Palestinians that they represent the real resistance to the occupation. Senator Scott's resolution would help them do just that. By making this all about Hamas, 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 Senator Scott is effectively echoing Hamas's own argument that Hamas is the true face of Palestinians' struggle. And I reject that. Because, my friends, day after day, year after year, decade after decade, nonviolent Palestinian activists struggle against the daily violence and harassment of occupation. Violence and harassment subsidized, by the way, with billions of U.S. taxpayer dollars. Let us be very clear. No one is arguing that Israel or any government does not have the right to self-defense and the responsibility to protect its people. We should understand that while Hamas firing rockets into Israeli communities is absolutely unacceptable, today's conflict did not begin with those rockets. It goes much, much deeper. For years, we have seen a deepening Israeli occupation in the West Bank and East Jerusalem and a perpetual blockade on Gaza, all of which makes life increasingly unbearable for the Palestinian people. The truth is, these policies, like this current war, will continue to strengthen extremists on both sides, including Hamas. You want to strengthen Hamas, support this war.
Long live the Intifada.
We, Congress, must understand that in more than a decade of his right-wing rule in Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu has cultivated an increasingly intolerant and authoritarian type of racist nationalism. In his frantic effort to stay in power and avoid prosecution for corruption, Netanyahu has legitimized extremist forces such as the Jewish Power Party by bringing them into the government. Moreover, we should understand that these dangerous trends are not unique to Israel. What is going on in Israel, in my view, is a political tragedy, but it is part of a trend that is going on around the world, including here in the United States, where we are seeing the rise of authoritarian nationalist movements. These movements exploit ethnic and racial hatreds in order to build power for a corrupt few rather than prosperity, justice, and peace for the many.
Factuals.
For the last 4 years, these movements have had a friend in the Trump White House. And on January 6th, those forces attacked this very chamber. Madam President, it is no accident that the only European Union country that did not join the nearly unanimous statement yesterday calling for a ceasefire was Hungary. Hungary did not join the rest of the European Union, and Hungary, of course, is led by the ethno-nationalist authoritarian Viktor Orban, a strong ally of both Netanyahu and Donald Trump. Now, some may choose to be on that side, but that is not the side I choose to be on. We must be on the side of those who want to build a society based on real security and political equality, based upon the principles of economic justice, racial justice, political justice, social justice, and environmental justice. I believe we must stand in solidarity with those Palestinians and Israelis working to build a future of equality and peaceful coexistence.
I literally don't understand how one man can spit so
on
much
either side who wish
and people
to
still look at
destroy
him and
that
they're like, yeah, he sucks. I don't get
In
it.
this moment of crisis, the United States should be urging an immediate ceasefire. My colleagues, I strongly believe that the United States has a major role to play in helping the world build a
I literally
more
don't
peaceful
understand.
and
Like, how can you
prosperous
look at
future,
someone like Bernie and be like, yeah,
one
it fucking
in which
sucks?
human rights are upheld and the life of every human being is valued. We should be leading the world in combating the existential threat of climate change. We should be leading the world in making sure that every person on earth, no matter what country he or she lives in, receives a vaccine to protect them from the COVID-19 virus. And yes, we should lead the world in attempting to bring the Israeli people and the Palestinian people together. If the United States is going to be a credible voice on human rights on the global stage, we must recognize that Palestinian rights matter, Palestinian lives matter. Madam President, I object to the Scott resolution.
Wow.
Objection is heard.
Madam President.
Aggressive
Senator from
anti-Semitism,
Florida.
sir.
Madam President, today is a sad day
A
for the
demon.
United States Senate.
A literal demon.
And one we will not forget.
A literal demon, by
no
the
one in
way.
this body supports the loss of innocent life. No one. But let me be very clear about what we just witnessed. We just saw the Democrat Party.
Liberal defenders of Israel. This guy that looks like Voldemort. Here, I'm going to speak to the liberal. I'm going to speak to the liberal Zionist for a second. He looks like Voldemort. You're really going to defend Voldemort, dude? I mean, he who shall not be named, dude. Really? I mean, expecto patronum, you know? Just fucking Harry Potter. Hermione Granger, liberals. That's all I'm going to say.
Stood for generations.
Yeah. Guess what? You just got fucking wrecked.
Just wrote in his op.
Most of you don't understand, but I just wrecked all the liberals who were like, oh, fuck, I can no longer defend this guy or defend the occupation.
People. So why is he objecting to this today? Does he agree with the radical left that the U.S. shouldn't follow through with a critical arms?
You're really going to defend the guy who wants to steal the Philosopher's Stone, dude?
It was not long ago, Madam President, that the Senate, including my colleague, stood with Israel on a bipartisan basis. In fact, in 2014, when Israel was again subject to a barrage of rockets targeting innocent Israelis.
Damn, Bernie was like, hey, Rick, Bernie was like, you don't get the promotion, dog. Wait, how do we find the Rick Scott video? Because I want that feed, boys. Bernie's social media team's like, nah. He's like, no free clout for Voldemort.
Then Majority Leader Reid offered
No
a
free fucking clubs for Voldemort.
supporting Israel's right to defend itself against Hamas.
Palestine will be free.
The 2014 resolution even acknowledged the simple truth that Hamas refuses to recognize Israel's right to exist.
What about
it
Israel?
Also said, Hamas refuses to recognize Israel's right to exist.
What about Israel refusing to recognize Palestinian right to
Hamas uses
exist?
rockets to indiscriminately target civilians in Israel. It says Hamas intentionally uses civilians as human shields and resolved to condemn Hamas terrorist actions. The Senate, including my colleague, unanimously supported then Majority Leader Reid's resolution supporting Israel's right to defend itself against Hamas, and never said at that time that the resolution would embolden Hamas. Yet today something has changed for my colleague. We are seeing a growing and dangerous anti-Israel agenda permeate the halls of Congress. Israel is a country surrounded by nations and terrorist groups
he was being a
that want
pussy.
it wiped off the face of the earth. And as rockets rain down in Israel, my colleague refuses to stand with our ally. I'll say it again, today is a sad day for the United States Senate and one we will not forget. I will never accept a weakened position on Israel, never. And I will never stop fighting to support Israel and ensure the Biden administration upholds the long-standing and special partnership between the United States and Israel. I yield the floor.
So special, dude.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of S-Res 225, submitted earlier today. Further, that the resolution be agreed to, the preamble be agreed to, and that the motions to reconsider be considered, made, and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
Is there objection?
Madam President.
Senator from Florida.
Reserving the right to object. My colleague is wrong for trying to boil this down in an attempt to distract from the reality we are seeing here today. The radical left is fully embracing the lie of false equivalence and refuse to plainly state Israel has the right to defend itself, period.
It's so weird. Like, why? I can't be the only one who's like, no, dude, we have to fucking defend Israel. Like, this is what we got to talk about today in the Senate. Okay, I'm sorry, my colleague is the radical left is not a good fucking a good response, dude.
Hamas, the terrorist organization responsible for taking innocent lives. My colleague's resolution offers nothing to condemn Iran, the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. My colleague's resolution offers nothing to condemn Hamas. Here's the difference between Israel and Hamas. Hamas uses its rockets to kill innocent Israelis. Israel uses its rockets to defend its people. It should not be difficult for the Senate to simply reaffirm our support of Israel, one of our greatest allies and our most important ally in the Middle East, and condemn the escalating terrorist attacks against Israel and its right to end the murder of its citizens. It wasn't difficult to get that done in 2014 when my colleague and every other member of the Senate unanimously supported then Majority Leader Reid's resolution supporting Israel's right to defend itself against Hamas.
Hey, it was bullshit back then,
too.
The
same resolution also said Hamas refuses to recognize Israel's right to exist. It says Hamas uses rockets to indiscriminately target civilians in Israel. And Hamas intentionally uses civilians as human shields and resolved to condemn Hamas terrorist actions. So what does my colleague believe has changed about the facts on the ground since then? Here's what's changed. The Democrats now have a powerful and growing anti-Israel caucus in their party who defend terrorism against Israel.
Hassle.
The Democrat Party has abandoned American values, and now they're abandoning American allies. And as I said earlier, we can't allow this dangerous anti-Israel agenda to permeate the halls of Congress. We can't allow a blatant blind eye to be turned to Israel. Israel is a country surrounded by nations and terrorist groups that want it wiped off the face of the earth. I will never accept a weakened position on Israel, never. And I'm not going to stop fighting to support Israel.
Wait, why is he repeating it?
The administration upholds the long-standing and special partnership between the United States and Israel. Therefore, I object.
Objection is heard.
He's just repeating.
President.
The senator from Texas.
Madam President, the situation in the Middle East is a stark contrast from that of just 9 months ago. Last summer, the United States helped broker the Abraham Accords, a historic step in the relationship.
Nothing to do with Palestine.
And the United Arab.
Exclusively a pro-Israel agreement where the United States flexed its military contracts